Name and where are you from?
I'm Brenna Carroll from DC, but I'm from Indiana.
Oh, Indiana, the
Yeah,
Hoosier state.
yeah.
All right.
You know, Hoosier's an insult in Missouri.
Is it?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. They
Oh.
say if you're doing something dumb, they call you a Hoosier.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
because it's Indiana, you know.
Yeah. All right. So, what can you tell me about Indiana?
There's a lot of corn.
Uh,
I don't know. I was near Chicago. I really like Chicago.
yeah.
Chicago's a great city. It's just there's a lot of people there, kind of like this. You know, people are just like willing to meet each other, and it's fun. Indiana's a little more boring. There's just not much to do and not much to see.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure parts of it are very beautiful, but the part where I was from is just very like suburban.
Oh, you say you were suburban in Chicago?
Basically, yeah.
South Bend?
It was close to there. I took a train out of, not quite close. It's farther west.
Okay, cool. All right. Now, what were your first impressions coming to New York?
I've been here twice before, but very briefly. It was for like a field trip in college for an immigration history class. But I mean, I love the lights. I love how there are just like people out talking to each other and like doing random shit like this.
You're
So I
so
kinda,
positive.
oh, thank you. And I live in Silver Spring, which is a suburb of DC, so it's just like a big difference. But I love it. It's great.
Okay. What kind of things you miss about Indiana?
I mean, I miss my friends from high school. I went to high school in Chicago, so
Yeah.
they mostly live in Chicago. One of them lives here, so I miss
Uh-huh.
them.
Yeah.
I don't miss much about Indiana itself.
Uh-huh.
I grew up riding horses, so I guess I miss the barn that I'm from.
Uh-huh.
But other than that,
Yeah. All right. So, can you do a New York accent?
uh,
There are no right or wrong answers.
like New
here, by the way.
York?
Yeah,
No, that's
New
not
York,
right.
like, forget
New
about it. What's
York,
happening
forget
around
about
here?
it. Not really.
Yeah. No?
I try.
Okay. All right, now let's get into some questions. Do you want to do dating questions or general questions?
Whatever.
Whatever.
up to you.
Okay, let's do some dating questions.
Okay.
All right, how important are first impressions?
I mean, of middling importance. Like, definitely first impressions give you like the overview of a person, but I feel like getting to know, like, small talk is not very effective. Big talk is where it's at, but first impressions are more medium talk, so you can't get a deep impression of someone on first
Yeah.
impressions because they're trying to impress you.
So you got to meet them a few times
Yeah.
before you really can form a judgment about that person.
Yeah.
All right, now what about the way the person dresses?
I love fashion, so it's important to me, but it's not like the most important thing. Like, it's not about designer clothes or anything. It's just a sense of like being put together.
So Walmart clothes is okay?
What?
Walmart clothes are
Yeah,
okay?
as long as it's like you have confidence in it.
Yeah. Okay, now what are your thoughts on men approaching women in public spaces like this?
That's a good question. I feel like as long as it's respectful, like I've been approached on trains and like in elevators and actually formed like a good connection with those people. So as long as it's respectful, not like catcalling or something, I think it's fine. It's actually better than like Tinder or something. It's more organic.
Yeah. Now, can you name the last 3 people that you liked and why?
That I like in that capacity.
Yeah.
There's this guy I met on the train who I like. He's pretty cool. Because he's just very like, he's from Los Angeles and he's just very like, he wants to have a good conversation. So we talked for like 2 hours when I met him. Really cool. My ex-boyfriend I really liked, of course, because he was my ex-boyfriend. He cares a lot about people. It just didn't work out. And I also really liked this guy who I saw for like a week or two who was obsessed with Kate Bush. I love Kate Bush. And so we had a lot of common ground there. But that one didn't work out because he ghosted me.
Okay. Are you ready for the next question?
Sure.
What are your turn-offs?
Turn-offs?
Yeah.
Like a holier-than-thou attitude or like being condescending or mansplaining.
Someone who looks down on others?
Yeah, that's not a good look.
Okay, what are your thoughts on online dating? What are some advantages and disadvantages?
Yeah, it's never worked for me. I feel like it's very inorganic and as you like with the whole first impression thing, they're just trying to impress you, and like get laid. I've not had success with it, but it does help people who wouldn't meet in regular life meet, so that's cool.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people say it's just easier that way.
It is easier, yeah.
All right, ready for the next question?
Yeah.
What are you looking for in a man?
Someone who shares interests and like I make music and stuff, so someone who genuinely takes an interest in my music and writing, I think that's really important.
What kind of music do you make?
I like indie rock, kind of like Florence and the Machine, Kate Bush, David Bowie
Oh,
kind of
right,
stuff.
you said that.
Yeah.
Where can we find your stuff online? You on
After
Spotify?
I don't have a Spotify yet.
SoundCloud?
I do have a SoundCloud, but it's private right now. I have a YouTube channel. It's just Brenna Carroll, BRENNACARROLL, and my Instagram is after_the_martyrs.
Your music's on there?
Kind of. I used to play music with this friend, but he can't play music anymore. So I got a band back together on Craigslist last week. But
Cool.
we're awaiting. Like, we still haven't met yet.
Okay. All right, now back to the dating questions. How long should a guy wait before he calls you once he gets your number?
I don't think that really matters. Like, the guy I met on the train, texted me day of, and it was fine. I don't
Doesn't sound
think
desperate to do it too soon.
I don't think that's desperate. No, to text someone and be like, "Let's get dinner" or "Let's hang out" or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I think that shows initiative. Really, I'd rather not them like wait a whole long time because they're trying to be aloof.
Uh-huh. All right, now what kind of signals are you gonna send out? Let's say you see a guy checking you out. What kind of signals are you gonna send him to
I'm
indicate
probably
it's
gonna
okay to
send
approach you?
real awkward signals because that's how I am. But
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Eye contact or like just seem open, not being on my phone, stuff like that.
All right, now what are some red light signals that you give them if you don't want them to approach you?
I would not look at them. I'd put my earbuds in. I'd maybe walk away. Look real hostile.
Yes. So they'll know. Okay. How long does it usually take for you to like someone from the time that you meet them?
I fall into infatuation quickly and recklessly, so not long. But I think it takes time to grow like a deeper connection. That like I try and get really close to people by being way too vulnerable, i.e., oversharing,
Yeah.
pretty soon, and that's not like good for lasting connections.
All right, bad boys. Why do women like bad boys?
Because it's exciting.
Is it really?
Yeah, you want someone who like lives on the edge a little bit,
Uh-huh.
not falling over the edge, but living on it.
Is that why you left Indiana?
I
Too
mean,
many
maybe.
good boys there.
I didn't meet any boys in Indiana.
No?
I didn't really like go out in high school.
Oh, okay. So you lived a very sheltered life. Kind of.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's say you meet a guy that you really like as a friend,
Uh-huh.
but not in a romantic capacity. How do you set up those boundaries without being weird?
I mean, that's a good question. I just try and strengthen the friendship
Yeah.
and like respectfully say if he made any advances, hey, I'm not interested in that. Just like, but our friendship's real important.
Yeah. Okay. Now, do you have any online dating stories?
Not any good ones. I met the Kate Bush guy. I guess I met online,
Yeah.
but that didn't last super long. We connected because I had a picture in my profile that was like me doing the Kate Bush Wuthering Heights dance for Halloween, and he was like, "Oh, let me in your window," which is a line from that song. So that was good, but nothing exciting.
Uh-huh. All right. Now I hear the word creepy a lot when I'm doing these interviews. What is creepy?
What is creepy? I think just not respecting people's boundaries. Like if someone clearly doesn't want you to like be by them, like don't be. I don't feel like this is creepy, but or asking inappropriate questions, but I don't feel like that's happened.
What is a vibe?
Vibe?
Yeah, VIBE. Vibe.
I guess it's a sense of personality you get, like an intangible sense of personality you get from someone. Like you think it's their personality, but you have nothing to back it up.
Right.
But the vibe.
All right. What are some good places to bring a date? In DC, I guess.
in
'Cause you're
DC,
familiar with DC, right?
The monuments are great. Like the monuments at nighttime are really pretty. They're free, and it's like a neutral ground. So like if you want to go back with them, you can, but you're not obligated to.
Yeah.
Another good place is the museums are also free. Not all of them, but like all the Smithsonian's are free, and there's some pretty cool like art and stuff there. So those are good.
So you're a very cultured person, it sounds like.
Maybe.
All right, now can opposites attract? Let's say you love going out drinking and your man doesn't. Does that
Yes
actually
and
work?
no. I think opposites can complement each other, but if you have nothing in common, like you're gonna run out of things to talk about.
So it can't just be based on attraction alone.
Right. There's got to be something to back it up and to strengthen that connection.
Uh-huh. Okay, now this is a park where a lot of people just chat people up that they don't know.
Uh-huh.
And then oftentimes I'm just observing these people. And I'm just this guy sounds really boring. How can you sit here and listen to this guy? Now let me ask you this. How long does it take for you to come to the conclusion that this guy is either boring or you don't want to hear what you have
Pretty
to say?
quickly. Like, I mean, you can kind of see it in someone's face if you're not gonna. Like I said, first impressions are not the most important thing, but in terms of being boring or like basic incompatibility, you can tell that pretty fast, I think.
Yeah. So if someone sounds like phony or
Yeah, or if they
superficial,
just have a very like humdrum look on their face, like you can tell it's not gonna be compatible pretty quickly.
so within like what, 2 minutes you can tell?
2 to 5.
2 to 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got a phone call coming in? Oh, you gloves.
Oh, I'm good. I'm just cold.
It's
I'm just
cold.
putting
Yeah,
my gloves
it's
on.
cold.
I saw you putting
really
your gloves on.
appreciate you doing this here
No
in the
problem.
cold.
I'd be out anyways.
Yeah. All right, you ready for the next question?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get into some general questions.
Okay.
Skip any questions you want to skip. If you need clarification, let me know.
Okay.
What are your strengths and weaknesses?
Oh, strengths. I don't know. I think I'm a creative person. I think I'm pretty open-minded, and I try to like adapt, which has been hard, but I think it's a strength to be able to learn that, and quick learning, and a high pain tolerance. But that one's also a weakness, because if you have a high pain tolerance, you're not able to figure out when something's wrong, and you tend to persevere through bad situations physically, mentally, emotionally longer. Other weaknesses, I'm like a control freak, and that's not great, and I'm very impulsive.
I see you understand yourself very well. All right, next question. What brought you to New York?
I'm visiting my friend from high school.
Okay. What's the secret to maintaining those kinds of friendships?
We honestly haven't talked in a while, but she's one of those friends that I had like one class with in high school, and then like I've just always really appreciated her presence, and so I was like, well, I can get a cheap bus ticket, so like why not? So it's just like it's honestly been quite intermittent communication, but I always enjoy the communication when it happens. So it's nice to like reconnect with people like that.
It's also great to have those friends who are willing to sit in a bus for 3-4 hours to come and visit you as well. Okay, now if there was anything that you wanted to redo in your life, what would it be?
This is gonna sound stupid, but the first thing that comes to mind is I ran cross country in high school. One, I would not have run 60 miles a week because that was not good for me. But also, we had this like sectionals race senior year that I like passed out during. But I've always thought maybe I like did it on purpose, so I'd like fix that and maybe slow down a little bit or not run so much so I could have completed that race.
You time travel.
Time travel.
What year would you go to?
Ooh, good question.
Future or past?
I really wish I would have been around for Woodstock.
The hippies?
Yeah, I think it would have been really fun.
Free love?
1968,
I think. I should know that, but yeah,
well,
I
you
would.
actually lived through
Did
it.
you go?
but I didn't go.
You didn't go? No, I would have
But I
loved.
saw many of the video and it was great time.
It sounds like it
But
was
pathetic
amazing.
because that was the introduction of the marijuana and everybody was high. Acid,
Yeah.
Jim Hendrix,
Janis Joplin, all of
Santana.
them. Yeah.
both
It-
of them used to play here by the way.
Really?
Before it become popular.
Oh, that's so cool. I brought a percussion instrument and I thought about like breaking it out, but there's too many people.
You think so?
I mean, there's never this many people in a park in DC, so it feels. I mean, there's not
This is
too.
dead. Like,
There's not too many people, period, but there's too many people to break out the hand percussion, like
Yeah.
start singing random shit, you know?
yeah. That's true. But you never know. You never know. Because like during the day, it's more like regulated.
Okay.
'Cause the
I mean,
park
if you
rangers
asked me,
are
I
here.
would, but I'm not just going to do it of my own accord.
Yeah. Okay, you ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Would you still work if you had a trust fund?
Ooh, I would just make music all the time. I don't know. It's nice to have structure though, and like some schedule. So I might get like a day job and then do the music the rest of the time. Because I don't think sitting at home all the time, like quarantine has shown me, sitting at home all the time is not good for me. I need to be busy.
Where are you going once you leave this park?
I was thinking of going to Central Park, but it's pretty far away. I was just gonna walk till I get towards there till I get tired, and then like go back.
That is pretty far.
Yeah.
All right, ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Where have you been? Countries, states, anything like that?
I mean, Indiana, Chicago. I've been here. I've been to like Colorado. I worked in local politics there very briefly, and I loved it. It's so pretty, and the weather's great. Excuse me. I've been to like Texas. My family lives in Texas now. They moved there a few years ago. Not my favorite place.
That's where everybody's moving.
Yeah, I guess it's like up and coming. I don't know. I'm not. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But I could
Not
see
me
how other
either.
people would like it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Unless you're into the rodeos and the cowboys. So you were saying?
Oh yeah. I've not been that many places, honestly. I've been to New Hampshire like very briefly to canvass for Hillary once, but that was for like 2 days. And I've been to Florida very briefly, but only like Disney World. I've never been overseas though.
I was traveling.
Traveling?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to go to Ireland because my grandparents are from there. I'd like to go to England, like London or something. I'd like to go to Vietnam. I'd like to go to, I don't know, some like Western European ruins or something. So I'm really interested in medieval female saints. I wrote my thesis about that in college. So
No
it's
Stonehenge?
Stonehenge would be cool. I would totally be down to go to Stonehenge. I'd take a medieval site over Stonehenge, but I'd still be down, definitely, if I was like in the vicinity somehow.
Okay, great. Now, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Ideally, I'd like to be making music and like working with a band. It's something I really care about, and it's like the one thing that really makes me happy. Unideally, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep working at it. I don't plan very far in the future. I plan maybe 10 minutes ahead in the future.
Can you see yourself married with kids,
No,
owning a house?
no.
No?
Maybe owning a house, but only as the result of like doing well in music.
Yeah.
I can't see myself married with kids though.
So music is your long-term goal.
Yeah.
What kind of plans you got? for
Plans.
music? Yeah.
I formed a band like last week. I put an ad on Craigslist. I also put flyers out in DC, but that didn't really work. But I put an ad out on Craigslist, got some like 3 people who are interested, so we're meeting on Sunday after I get back for coffee, and we're just gonna go from there. So, and I practice. I didn't start learning till quarantine, honestly. I started taking singing lessons and learning piano, but I think I progressed pretty fast. So just keep practicing.
So you made good use of that time. Huh?
Yeah, and I write a lot, so I've just turned a lot of things I've written into songs. I wrote a song last night about Virginia Woolf's suicide. Like, do you think like when she walked into the river with her pockets full of stones, do you think she like regretted it and fought back but couldn't make it because she was weighted down? Like, I don't know. That was just something I was thinking about. So it's about that.
Right. What kind of questions would you ask if you were doing interviews?
Oh, probably weird questions like. That's a great question, honestly. I might ask them that question because it takes the pressure off me.
But like, let's take a look at these folks around
Right.
here. What would you want to know about them?
I don't know. What's your favorite color? What historical figure would you want to meet? What historical figure would you want to be? What's important to you in life? Like, I don't know, ideally like big picture questions, like not small talk things, but I don't know I need more time to think of them.
Yeah, because a lot of the folks, I don't know if they can handle those types of questions.
Like, what do you want to be if you could do anything you wanted? Or what do you think is the biggest problem with the world and how would you fix it? I don't know.
All right, now you said you're a content creator.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
What is your most successful music?
I've got this one song called, it's still very early in the process, but I got a song called And the Blue Madonna Wept. It's about a fictionalized suicide who visits her own funeral after her death and finds that even Mary, Mother of God, is weeping for her. That one's probably the most successful one.
Now, what kind of positive responses are you getting from your audience?
They say it's definitely different. I don't know, I get like, one person said they could hear the Kate Bush reflections or like influence. I was like, that was very complimentary and like Florence and the Machine stuff, but also just like, I think if it's original, that's important to me. And if it's not super derivative, everything's derivative, but yeah, originality is the thing I hold closest.
Cool. That's actually a very good response to get from your audience. Because no one wants to sound like everybody else.
Right, yeah.
I hear a lot of these like trap artists, and it seems to sound the same.
Yeah, and then what's the point? Like, if it's not original, what's the point?
All right, now, do you follow anyone on the internet?
What do you mean?
Like an influencer of any kind?
Not influencers like music, like Florence the Machine or like
Yeah.
Miley Cyrus. I think is an interesting Instagram post. So mostly like musicians or artists. I don't really follow influencers. Like I don't really vibe with the Kardashians.
Yeah, I don't either. All right, do you have any advice for the young folks out there?
Oh, I mean, don't settle for things that you're not passionate about. Like, definitely pay the bills, for sure. Do something to pay the bills. But if you have something you're passionate about, don't, like, put it under a bushel because other people don't like it. Like, if you think it's cool and new and original, or even if it's not, but it brings you joy, do that. I mean, pay the bills, but do that too. Find a way.
Do you consider yourself a leader, and why?
Yes and no. I like to be in control of things, so it suits me well, but I can also be very indecisive. And like I want to make the other person happy in a situation while also making myself happy, so that doesn't always work out so well.
All right, if you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
I want a Fairlight, a CMI Fairlight, which is a type of instrument. I would want. Ooh, that's a good question. I would want. That's a really good question. It's hard to like limit it, but also
You know
not
what
be
the
too
most common
materialistic.
answer I get?
Money, or
1,000
time.
more wishes.
1,000 more wishes. I see. There you go. I don't know. I guess I'd want like to lose the pressure of time. I'd want to not die. That's a big thing. Like death really freaks me out. It freaks everyone out. But like,
Immortality?
yeah. I don't know if I would regret that in the end, but right now I would like it. Because the whole idea freaks me out.
You scared of dying, you mean?
Oh yeah. I don't even like sleep because it's like rehearsal for death.
Oh, yeah. And you lose, like, what, years of your life? from
Right.
sleeping
Like
anyway.
a third of your day sleeping. No thanks.
All right, now, do you have any special talents aside from music?
I know the first 2 lines of the Odyssey in the original Greek,
Mm-hmm.
and I ride horses.
Mm-hmm.
I like riding.
All right. Which is something that's hard to do in DC or here, right?
Riding horses?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go up to Barn and Poolsville, and I don't have a car, so I have to hitch rides with people.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's worth it.
What kind of videos do you watch?
Music videos mostly, and like interviews.
Maybe you'll be watching your own interview. or
Maybe.
something like that. Or some of my other interviews.
Or your other
too.
interviews. That might be better.
Yeah.
I might like that better than watching my own.
I think you'll find a lot of like-minded people on the channel.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's more serious too, you know.
Right, you gotta be some degree of open-minded to like participate in an interview randomly in Washington Square Park.
Because I think there's too many silly interviews out there.
True.
That I mean, they're just not taking it serious. They're looking for like a kind of laugh or you know,
Right.
trolling people and stuff like that.
Right, or like, yeah, trolling people. It's not great.
It's just like immature. Have you had any game changers in your life? Anything that happened to you that made you want to change the way you live your life?
Ooh, so I'm a sober alcoholic, and like drug addict, and I don't use or drink anymore, but that changed my whole life around, because it's very dangerous to do that, and, I know that's like really probably too big talk for this, but I'm answering the question honestly.
No,
yeah.
I've had people come out of rehab. I've had people. I had a group of 3, who said they all met in rehab.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
you can check them out. I think their name is Alex and Noah.
Alex and Noah. Okay.
The third person wasn't in the interview, but he's in the picture.
Gotcha.
But it's a group of 3. Yeah, you should check out their interview.
Cool.
Okay, now. So you finished with the Game Changers? No, wait.
Yeah, I mean,
What actually
sobriety.
happened though? I mean,
I did-
were you physically unhealthy from the drugs and the
Oh
alcohol?
yeah, I did a lot of Adderall. I drank too much. I smoked too much weed. I like had psychotic symptoms. You know, like hearing police sirens that weren't there when I was driving from Colorado to Indiana, and it just got worse and worse. Like last time I did 2 grams of cocaine in 6 hours, and that's just not.
You had enough of it.
That's just not something you can do. You know, you'll die.
Right.
So yeah, it was physically unhealthy. It was also wreaking havoc mentally, and so my psychiatrist was like, "You need to do something about this." So I did.
So you're done with that lifestyle?
Yeah.
That's great. I hope you're able to continue your
Thank you.
healthier lifestyle.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. How important is marriage to you?
Marriage?
Yes.
Not super. I view it as like something it's definitely holds a big place in some people's lives, Will I get married? I don't know, but I'm not super stressed about it. I am stressed about like dying alone,
Yeah.
but that doesn't necessarily have to mean marriage. It
Right.
could. I'm
Yeah.
not averse to it, but it's not like a huge thing for me.
Or ancestry, how important is that to you? A lot of people
Ancestry?
are doing those DNA tests now.
Oh yeah.
What do you
I
think
don't know.
about
I
that?
haven't done one. I know my family's all from Ireland. Like it's pretty simple. My great grandpa was like in the Irish Republican Army at the age of 16 when he was pretending he was 18 and like
So he's a
did all this.
nationalist.
I mean, I guess like
He would be very angry at you wanting to go to England.
yes, he would hate it. But he was definitely not like a sit down kind of guy. So I guess like in that regard, people are important. But he also wasn't a nice guy, from what I've heard. So I guess in that regard, but you can always change. Like if there are patterns of trauma in your family tree, you can always end it. So I think it's not like a final determinator. I don't know if that's a word, determinator.
It might
Whatever.
Be. It is
Maybe.
now, right?
It is now.
You just created something. And it happened all right here on this channel. All right, what motivates you in life?
I don't want to get to the end of my life and be regretful. Like I could just sit inside and like play shit on my
Minecraft.
computer all the time, Minecraft or other video games like on my and there's nothing wrong with video games, but I could always sit inside, be doing something passive, and then realize, oh, it's all gone. So that fear is a big motivator.
Because our time on this earth is
It's
actually very limited.
Yeah, the whole death thing.
Now, is Facebook still relevant?
I hardly use it. I guess it's good for like staying in touch with people, but
Really?
I mean maybe.
Uh-huh.
That's like the theory, but I don't really use it hardly.
Yeah.
It's mostly just like my nothing against the middle-aged relatives, like being aghast at something or another.
Oh, you keep in touch with your middle-aged relatives.
I mean, I'm friends with them on Facebook, but I hardly go on Facebook, so I don't know what's going
So
on.
you're not like posting pictures or videos on
I
there?
hardly even post to Instagram.
Yeah. Okay, now, what apps do you use?
What apps do I use? I like Instagram somewhat, but if I scroll through it too long, it makes me sad. I like Reddit. Same kind of thing though, but in a different way, different flavor of sad. That's all I really use. And YouTube, SoundCloud, but I don't really use SoundCloud much either. So it's mostly those.
Do you take the bus a lot?
I mean, not here, but in general, yes. There's a bus in Maryland that I take.
What is the strangest thing you've seen on the bus
Oh.
or heard? Because I mean, I always see like these strange characters on the Greyhounds.
Yeah.
What's the strangest experience you've had?
When I was in Chicago, I took the bus to high school, and there's this one like guy who got on in a full lion suit and didn't say anything to anyone on the bus, and then got off. That was weird. It wasn't crazy weird, but it was weird enough. And there was this one guy who was talking to me. He's like, "Oh, you're from Indiana? I got this disease in Indiana." I was like, I'm 14. You don't need to be telling me that." That was like creepy though.
For me, like I was on a Greyhound once, going from I don't know, I guess Louisiana to Mississippi, right?
Oh wow.
And I seen this guy, he just got out of jail. And he was carrying like this laundry bag that I guess they gave him, that he brought from the jail. Because, you know, I guess he wants to bring home his belongings that he had in prison.
Right.
And it was like, I think it was like dead in the middle of the winter, right? And he was wearing like shorts and a t-shirt and sandals because that was what he had in prison.
Oh no! Oh
So
my
that
God.
and he was all tatted up, and that was my weirdest thing on the Greyhound. Yeah. Because do you speak any foreign languages?
No, I read Latin, but not well, and not much anymore. But I don't speak Latin.
So you know the pronunciations, though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But classical Latin is different than church Latin.
Oh, really?
So it's classical Latin that I would do.
Okay. You took that in school?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, what's a meme?
A meme.
Yeah.
It's like a funny image that they riff on each other and like circulate and somehow get really popular. I don't know if there's a meme incubator or something where they all get popular, but happens somewhere.
People always have trouble describing a meme. I always ask people that.
It's like
very
a
few
simple but
people are able to
complex
get-
topic.
Yeah, very few people are actually able to give a good definition of a meme. All right, now, can you do any impersonations?
No. I would love to be able to. That's like a cool thing to be able to do, but I can't think of any.
That's fine. All right, next question.
Yeah.
How do you know you could trust a business? What kind of signs are you looking for? Some people look at reviews. Some people go into the store, physically go into the stores. They're looking
I think
for certain
physically
kinds of
going
signs.
into the store is the best bet. I don't really like reviews because it's like too much information all at once. So just going into the store, seeing if they're nice. If you like, you'll know if they're gonna swindle you.
Yeah. All
Or
right,
calling
now,
them.
nature versus nurture. What's more important?
Nurture.
Nurture. Yeah, I
Like
agree
you
with
can
that.
be born in a situation, but if people treat you in a really like you're growing up in a bad situation, right? But certain people like reach out to you and help you and like treat you in a nurturing way, it's going to be much better than someone who grows up in the same situation but isn't given that care.
Right.
So I think
Somebody's got to
social-
believe in you first.
Yeah,
right?
social support's really important.
I agree with that. Tattoos. Have you got any?
Yeah, I have these three. This one I gave myself. It's really bad. That's why. I have this one. Also gave it to myself. Really bad. That's for David Bowie. And then I'm gonna have to like move this. This is Joan of Arc's coat of arms. Well, it's the coat of arms from her region of France.
Yes.
I got that because I wrote my thesis on medieval female saints, so I got that when I did that. And then on my foot, I have Mount Evans in Colorado. It's the logo of the campaign I worked for.
That's
And I've
cool.
got one here. It's 5. I wasn't going to talk about it, but it says 5W, and I told you about the sobriety, so I've had mental health problems. So I met this girl, and we'd been in the same psych ward like a week apart, and it was 5 West is what the ward was called, and so we got 5W matching tattoos because we thought it was funny. I was like 20. But then we don't talk anymore, so it's like I have a matching tattoo with like somewhere floating out there.
Mhm. Okay, now, what is your biggest accomplishment in life?
Say again?
Biggest accomplishment in life.
Oh, I mean, writing my thesis was a big accomplishment. It took me like a year. It's 50.
What was your thesis?
It was on medieval female saints.
Oh yeah, that's right. You said that.
And it's like 53 pages. It was
Wow,
pretty
that's long.
intense. So that's I'm sure there's bigger ones, but oh no, I realized it. The biggest one is I managed a campaign in Maryland, a local one, and we won. And I didn't use any Adderall.
Right. That's great. Okay, what is the nicest thing anyone's ever done for you?
That's a good question. It's different than said to you. It's done for you.
Yeah.
I don't know. One time I was gonna be late. No, that's a stupid one.
There are no right or wrong answers.
This was just like a random act of kindness that I thought was really touching. Like one time I was gonna be late to my plane, and I grabbed a taxi, but I didn't realize I didn't have enough money to pay for it. And this lady who was sharing the taxi with me like randomly paid for it without even asking if I had enough. And I just thought that was real kind of her. But other than that, like picking up the phone when I'm really doing poorly and I need to talk to someone, like that's a really nice thing to do for someone.
Cool. What do you want to name this video? You got a title for it?
Trying to think of like something with a pun. Washington Square questions. I don't know. Questions.
Something unique to you, though, not just this channel. Because every one of my interviews is here.
Brenna's ramblings. Because I ramble.
Okay. I can live with that. All right. Is it easier to be a man or a woman? And why?
I mean, I've never been a man, but I imagine it's easier to be a man. I know there's a lot of societal pressure, but there's not like that internalized misogyny that even women have internalized misogyny. Of course, it depends. Like some women are going to have it easier than some men, so it's not a hard and fast rule. But I think in general,
Yeah.
if you like take all of it and like even it out,
Even with us moving heavy furniture?
I don't think that's a huge hardship. Women move heavy furniture too.
Okay, now, do you want to give a shout out to anyone?
To my roommate Lara and my friend Isabella, who I'm gonna see tomorrow, and my brother Gus. Okay, this is called "And the Blue Madonna Wept." So they gathered all so solemnly, friends, lovers, and family. It was as if I slept, and the blue Madonna wept, and the blue Madonna wept. I said she wept when I was pronounced dead. She couldn't bear to lose her son, and each day loses another one. She killed herself, they said, and bemoaned my early end as the clock had slowly crept, and the blue and each day loses another one. I didn't want to leave you, but I felt that I could not get through. It was as if I slept, and the blue Madonna wept, and the blue Madonna wept, I said. She wept when I was pronounced dead. She couldn't bear to lose her son, and each day loses another.